feels like a do or die moment. I've already done this too many times to even be too worried about it. Don't worry about nothing else and start boxing.
Ready? Here we go.
What's up, brother? Just on the ground, you got clowns out here asking me what my intentions are today. Bro, I'm trying to train. I'm locked in.
What?
He's totally in and he can only get better, but he's already at his peak. I'm really happy and proud of him. Then head to the, strength and conditioning gym. We lift weights, we do, conditioning drills, sprints, all that stuff. Then we take a minor, 10-minute break, and then we head to, boxing.
If I look at myself, me at my prime, I'm here. The way that Conor trains is absolutely just another level, completely different. I've never seen anybody train like my son, never. The dedication that he's got, the will to win, the motivation, it's all there.
Behind closed gym doors, two fighters are tearing their bodies apart in pursuit of the same dream, and only one of them will walk away with it intact. Ryan Garcia flags technical flaws and a difficult weight cut as major factors working against Ben. If those weaknesses appear on fight night, Ben could find himself overwhelmed.
I think I just have a lot more experience than him at this point. I think that he's very ferocious and he puts in a lot of effort, but I definitely see that where he's lacking, and I know I could take advantage of it without a doubt.
I mean, there's been some questions that, he hasn't fought in the welterweight limit for a very long time. You know more about making weight than I would know. Do you think it's going to be a struggle for him to get down to 147?
I mean, he seems like a pretty big guy. It's just the fact that he went to 160, and now he's going to shoot all the way down to 47. He did it once, I guess, with Regis 149. But those 2 pounds when you're cutting your weight is much more than you think.
Firing back with his own confidence, Conor Benn calls making 147 pounds brutal but completely achievable because of his work ethic. He believes preparation, not excuses, will decide the fight.
Going, bro, I've been walking around at 170, 175 to 180 pounds for the past 3 years. I had 6 weeks to make 149, 150. I done it. And you know why I done it? Because I'm disciplined. That's why I done it. And this is why I'll continue to prove why I'm in this position. Because I'm disciplined, because I can do it. So for me getting down to 147, is it going to be grueling? Is it going to be tough? Is it going to be hard? Of course it is, but I live for that. I ain't no softie over here. I work hard, I train hard. That's why I could have 2 years out the ring and jump straight in with Eubank at 160 in the stadium. That's why I could come back and dominate him again in the second fight, because of the discipline.
Stepping outside the weight debate entirely, the analyst argues that Ben's relentless aggression makes this one of the sport's most exciting fights. Entertainment sometimes outweighs pure rankings.
It's a fun fight. Those are two all-action guys. Like, it's just, there's better boxers than Conor Benn that I would rather see Ryan Garcia fight. But as far as like matching his intensity, matching his energy, and Conor Benn is not a top tier boxer of the level that some of these guys that are, the conversation is happening around. But as far as bringing the fight, as far as excitement, as far as energy, like Conor Benn is all of that. And so I love Garcia versus Benn.
Building on that same unpredictability, he believes neither man's recent form guarantees anything. He points out that both fighters have shown flashes of brilliance mixed with inconsistency, meaning past performances offer little real insight into what actually happens on fight night. The winner may simply be whoever shows up at their absolute best.
Conor didn't look great in his last fight. Ryan looked amazing. Prior to that, Ryan didn't look great. Conor looked amazing, and so it feels very Jekyll and Hyde-ish.
Shifting back to the technical side of the build-up, Barry Jones credits Garcia with finally reaching the division where he'll perform at his absolute best. He points out that Garcia has always looked more comfortable at this weight than at any point earlier in his career, giving him a physical edge that could show up over the full distance. If Benn's body doesn't respond well to making 147 again, the weight could decide everything.
Which I think he should have gone up in weight many years ago. He has held himself down and struggled, because the problem in boxing is you develop a name and reputation in a certain weight category. You can't suddenly, and that's what's so remarkable about Hamza Shearer. He's gone through the division, and he started at junior middle, and now he's super middle, and as Spencer says, he might go to light heavy. It's more difficult for the smaller guys. It's more difficult for them to jump up weight divisions. I think Garcia has finally found the weight he's most suitable at. I think he's a danger man at 147, and I think it might, and maybe Conor has left it a little bit too late to make 147 again, and I think that could be his Achilles heel. That could be his difficulty, and I think I make Garcia a slight favourite, but I would never write off Conor Benn. He's got a chance with anybody. He's got that fighting heart.
Raising a physical concern of his own, Spencer Oliver warns the weight cut could drain Benn's strength and erase the power that made him dangerous against Chris Eubank Jr. Everything depends on whether Benn arrives physically intact, and Oliver points out that power is often the first thing to disappear once a fighter starts cutting too aggressively late in camp.
Conor Benn has been competing at 160 pounds. He went down to 155 pounds, was it, or something last time?
No, 150. Wasn't it?
Yeah, or whatever it was. He dropped into the low 150s last time.
He fought, what, Regis Progress, yeah.
That's right.
153,
yeah, and so I can't tell you how difficult it is dropping those last couple of pounds. He looked weight drained when he was 150, 151, or whatever he was. I know it is around that sort of mark. To drop that extra 3 pounds in body fluid is very, very difficult, and to maintain that strength in those later rounds. Ryan Garcia does it. We know that. He's the champion. Can Conor Benn carry the power that he had up at 160 against Chris Eubank down to 147? If he can, we've got a real fight. But that is a big if.
Offering a more optimistic read on that same issue, Ade Oladipo argues Benn will look significantly better because the weight cut is finally under control. A stronger version of Benn could surprise many critics, and he adds that a smoother camp this time around could completely change how Benn performs compared to his last outing at this weight.
I will say this about Conor Benn. I think there'll be a lot of people that have looked at the Regis Prograis performance and have now judged it, okay, that's the real Conor Benn. No, I do think Conor Benn's going to be a lot better. I think the weight was a massive problem for him. He hadn't been that low in weight for, 2.5, 3 years? I think his body now will get used, or at least has now got used to being that low. And I think if he stays light and then tries to remove the last 10 or 15 pounds 2 weeks prior to fight weeks or a fight night, then I think that'll be better.
Shifting the focus onto Garcia's side of that same equation, he believes Ryan's focus will determine everything. One unfocused performance could completely change the outcome, and Oladipo notes that Garcia's history of inconsistency makes this just as real a concern as anything happening in Benn's camp.
Something about Ryan, sometimes you're like, okay, is Ryan on it? Because if Ryan's on it, Ryan's an elite fighter. I think we saw that against Barrios where he was on it. When Ryan's not on it, and somehow his mind is distracted and is elsewhere, performances can look a bit limp, as we saw with Rolly Romero. And if a Ryan that fought Rolly Romero turns up, Conor Benn could become world champion. Like, that's not out of the realms of possibility. Conor Benn could beat Ryan if Ryan turns up out of shape and not focused. Conor Benn will come in shape and Conor Benn will come focused. Talent is one thing, but Conor Benn is trying to bridge the talent gap with just pure dedication and focus. So look, I like the matchup. I think it really is an exciting matchup. Like, in terms of the matchups announced for the back end of the year, this is the one I'm most excited about for now.
Shifting back toward Garcia's physical gifts, Andy Ruiz credits Ryan's explosiveness with creating problems that most fighters simply can't solve. Speed remains one of the hardest weapons to neutralize at any level, and Ruiz adds that even well-prepared fighters often find themselves a fraction of a second too slow once real speed like Garcia's starts landing.
That's going to be an exciting fight. I want to see that fight. After my fight, I can't wait to see that fight. It's going to be on September 12th, and they both bring a lot of explosive punches, you know? They're banging, especially the relationship that they have. They're like talking to each other, going back and forth. But it could go either way, man. It could go either way. Ryan has that speed, and it's hard to get. It's hard to fight fighters that have a lot of speed, and I'm one of them, you know, especially from the heavyweight division. But he has that explosive left hook and all that.
Offering Benn's best path forward, he argues that Benn's best chance is making the fight ugly and uncomfortable. He points out that Garcia has always looked sharpest with room to work, and closing that distance early could take away the rhythm he relies on most. Taking away Garcia's space could completely change the outcome.
If he smothers his punches, make it awkward where Ryan can't throw those shots that he's really good at. It could go either way, man. It could go either way. I think that fight is a 50-50, but you never know, you know? Yeah.
Backing that same strategic outlook, Simon Jordan insists Benn's only path to victory is dragging Garcia into a brutal fight because Garcia has shown vulnerability when things get tough. If Benn can't impose that pressure, the odds swing heavily toward Garcia, and Jordan adds that Garcia's past performances under duress give Benn a real, specific target to attack, rather than just a general game plan.
Would do a number on Conor as well, but this is a very, very difficult fight. The only thing I can say in this fight is if he can carry the power into the 147s, then we know that Garcia has a propensity, or had a propensity when it gets tough, to look for a way out. He looked for a way out against Tank Davis, and I know we're talking about levels in that fight, Spence.
Yep.
But he showed it once, and if Conor can make the fight ugly and drag him into a fight, you might see Garcia's backside go a little bit. But it looks very, very difficult fight for Conor to win. And it's probably, we all talked the other day about the idea that Conor Benn has been the best matched fighter for the kind of finances that he's been able to achieve, and fair play to him. But this is a real fight.
Framing this moment in the context of Benn's career, Derek Chisora credits Benn with finally landing the blockbuster opportunity he's chased for years, but still gives Garcia the edge. One mistake at this level could end the night instantly, and Chisora points out that opportunities like this rarely come twice, making Benn's preparation for this exact moment more important than ever. He adds that Benn has clearly earned this platform through his own performances, but earning the fight and winning it are two very different challenges entirely.
Conor is my pal, so I'm not going to sit here and try to mess up his name and that. This is a good fight for him. He's always wanted a big fight. Now he's getting it on Mexico Independence Day, I believe so.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
he's got all that backed up as well.
Yeah, Vegas will be heaving.
Yep.
You know, he's gonna be fighting in Vegas for the first time. Oh no, second time. Because the first time was with Eddie Hearn when he was on holiday.
Backing that same lean toward Garcia, Showbiz the Adult predicts Ryan Garcia scores a knockout, believing Ryan's composure and timing give him the edge over Benn's aggressive style. He points out that composure under pressure is exactly what separates fighters who capitalize on openings from those who force them recklessly. He still warns that Benn's power makes him dangerous enough to change everything with one punch.
And here's my assessment. Listen, man, my initial assessment, and both of those guys, my brothers, right? Love you, boy. My initial assessment is I got Ryan Garcia by KO. Conor, I'm sorry, brother. Conor, I'm sorry. There was something Ryan Garcia said at the end of their little beef at the Ring Awards.
You think you beat him?
Yeah, of course.
How does it end?
I knock him out. He's a little too jittery. Is this our car? He's a little too jittery.
And I kind of see that. And I see that mostly because Conor Benn, he started so late. So there is a sense of calmness that's not quite there. So I think Ryan Garcia, well, we know Ryan Garcia sees that as well. But I wouldn't be shocked if Conor Benn were to stop Ryan Garcia.
Doubling down on that same read, he argues personal animosity is genuine, making the matchup even more dangerous. He points out that fights built on real tension often push fighters past their usual game plan, since emotion has a way of overriding discipline once the bell rings. When emotions run high, Discipline can disappear in an instant. For both men, this isn't just a championship fight, it's personal.
And hell, they worked that out. And listen, the incentive to work that out was very strong because Conor Benn is Ryan Garcia's welterweight WBC mandatory. And now we got a fight. And the bad blood. You see this Mortal Kombat ass fight poster? The is bad blood. You guys know Conor Benn, he doesn't like Ryan Garcia.
He believes every event leading to the opening bell will add fuel to the rivalry, culminating in an explosive showdown. He points out that the press conferences, face-offs, and trash talk have all played their own part in building this into something bigger than a typical fight week. The anticipation is almost as intense as the fight itself. For boxing fans, this isn't just another promotion. It's one of the year's biggest spectacles.
Off of that weekend because Ryan Garcia, he's now the new face for that date. Let me know how you feel in the comments below. Showbiz adult. Listen, it's going to be a war. I'm extremely excited. I had to cover this. You guys, I told you guys that I was going to cover it tonight, but really, that's how I see this. I think this fight is going to be a war, and I think it's going to be exciting every day. If it's not on social media, it's going to be in a press conference, the media workout, the weigh-ins. It's going to be exciting all the way up to the night of the fight, and definitely fireworks.
Closing out the breakdown with decades of experience behind him, former world title challenger Paul Smith, who has analyzed countless elite fighters throughout his career, argues Garcia operates on another level physically and technically. He believes Benn's only chance is to drag Garcia into a brutal fight instead of trying to outbox him, adding that trying to beat Garcia at his own game would be the fastest way for Benn to find himself overwhelmed and outclassed before he ever gets the chance to test Garcia's resolve.
Not an ability, no, because we've said, obviously, I think there's levels, and Garcia is a few levels above. Power-wise, if he still has it, if he can still hold that power at 147 after being up at 160 for so long, it's going to be tough for him getting down, but he's been doing it gradually. His last fight was at 150. If he can make it, then I think that's the only chance he has, really. He's got to try and make it a dog fight. He's got to try and make it where he can land his own shots and try and catch Garcia. But it's a big ask for me.
Skill and speed against grit and pressure. Does Garcia's class carry the night, or does Benn drag him somewhere he's never had to survive before? Every voice in this breakdown agrees on one thing. This fight will be decided by whether Benn can force Garcia into deep water before Garcia's speed and skill take full control. Drop your prediction in the comments, and stay tuned until next time.